Hello again, I'm Rebecca with Vital Work, and this is video 4 in our series where we're answering two really important questions. What is workplace culture, and how do you transform it for the better? Here's a really quick nutshell version of what we learned in videos 1 through 3. Number 1, culture is about the way we relate with each other. Every group of people forms a culture, and most cultures are accidentally developed instead of intentionally designed and nurtured. Changing culture requires changing norms, and that requires changing individual behaviors. So if you want a healthy culture that supports its people and your organization to its potential, you're going to have to develop your people, your teams. Specifically, they're going to have to get help developing themselves in a way that we call upgrading the inner operating system. Essentially, we transform culture by helping as many people as possible in the group update the way they think, feel, and act, especially in relationship with each other, so that people are leading with ego less often, and they're leading from best self more often. Now, if any of that is confusing to you, go back to videos 1, 2, and 3 to watch those. It'll make sense then. In the last video, we left on this cliffhanger. What is the work of moving a person, ourselves or someone else or a group of people from ego to best self? That's where we're going to dig in here today. The way that we think about that process here at Vital Work is through the lens of 3 important concepts: energy, connection, and courage. Let's start with energy. So as human beings, we all have energy, right? We have physical, mental, emotional, and even spiritual energy that is the fuel or the force for everything we do. If we don't have enough energy or the right quality of energy, or we're not able to direct our energy purposefully, we really can't operate as best self. So most of us in the workplace need some help learning and practicing energy management. We need to know how to generate and recover energy so we have enough to be our best while facing what are often unreasonable demands. We need to know how to regulate our energy so when we get stressed or reactive, we can shift relatively quickly. And we definitely need to know how to focus our energy in a world of interruptions and distractions. When our energy is stressed or depleted or scattered, we often shut down or become reactive, and then we do things in relationship with other people that undermine culture. So supporting employees at all levels to better regulate their energy is key number 1 in transforming culture. The second key to transforming culture is connection. So we as human beings are all hardwired to need connection with each other, to feel like we belong somewhere, to feel that we're appreciated and valued. But despite our hardwired need for connection, we often do things that disconnect us from other people. And when a group of people is really disconnected from each other's humanity, they can't do all of the things that we want to happen in the workplace. They can't collaborate as well, they can't innovate as well, they can't problem solve or adapt to change as well. They can't work with a sense of purpose and cohesion. Any team or group of people that needs a culture upgrade is also probably going to need a connection upgrade. They need to come together to learn skills and to have hard conversations that help them build and repair trust, develop psychological safety, and work through the inevitable challenges that will arise while operating from a foundation of respect and dignity and candor and care. This is no small task, but it is incredibly rewarding when it happens. So this brings us to the third key in transforming culture, which is courage. This is a big, important concept. Courage is about choosing the path or the act that is right or necessary or most productive, even when that choice feels hard or fraught with risk. Choosing courage requires that we face vulnerable moments with a blend of confidence and humility, and head on without shutting down or being reactive. And here's the thing, nearly all human interactions are vulnerable to some degree because nearly all human interactions bring with them the risk of rejection or confusion or frustration or disappointment. So speaking up when we see unconscious bias at play, that requires courage. Saying, I don't know, or I need help, that might feel vulnerable and that might require courage. Even something as little, depending on our personality or the environment, as meeting someone with direct eye contact and saying hello and smiling genuinely, that might require courage. Changing culture inevitably requires that people behave differently with each other, that they talk candidly and they try to resolve issues. Most of what needs to happen to transform culture over time is going to require that people face vulnerable moments with courage, even though they're fearful or worried. So the work of culture transformation requires that we teach and learn these practicable skill sets of courage. And importantly, it requires that everyone, but especially the formal leaders of the organization, demonstrate and reward vulnerability and courage. So this is my last point for the day. If you are a formal leader in an organization, I really want you to sit with this for a minute. When it comes to energy connection and courage, people are watching you to learn what's okay and what's not okay. Your actions speak much louder than your words. Are you demonstrating and rewarding regulating of energy, the prioritizing of connection, and choosing courage even when it's hard? Culture is everybody's business, but as a formal leader, you go first. More on that in our next video. See you then.